there, it's Karen here and welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to start a new journal. You may remember seeing these covers before, or you may not. These were a couple of covers that I made during Roxy's Weekly Challenge, and that's what this journal is going to all be about. What I wanted to do, and I had it in my mind and I think I did mention it in an earlier video, what I'm really keen to do is to actually put a journal together with all of the ephemera that was made during that year, because it was a year's worth pretty much. I know I missed a few, but I did make a year's worth of ephemera, and I just thought it'd be nice to put it together into a journal. It'd be like an idea journal, but also just a nice thing to flick through to remember what we made. So, and I've got my box here is absolutely stuffed with all the ephemera, and obviously I'm not going to put it all in. It's going to be one piece from each of the weeks that I actually took part in, which I think I may have missed maybe half a dozen, but out of the year I thought that's not too bad, and I may even feel I want to go back and make a couple of the ones that that I didn't get to make, see how things go. But what I wanted to do, although neither of these covers are quite the size I would have liked to use, I would have liked a bigger one really that would perhaps hold the ephemera more easily. I felt that if this was a Roxy's Weekly Challenge journal, I should use one of the covers that I made during the Roxy's Weekly Challenge, which basically means one of these two. I think it's going to have to be this one. I think it's a little bit wider than the other one. I don't suppose there's an awful lot in it, but it's just, I like the colours better on this one. I think that's what it comes down to. It's not as tall, but I thought it might be a fraction wider. I might be wrong, but I think it is a little bit wider, which means I've got a better chance of getting the pockets in if it's a bit wider. We'll have to see, because I think there might be some issues with some of the ephemera not fitting in this journal, and then I'll have to think of something else to do with them, even if I make a little separate folio to accompany it or something to put those in. I don't know, but I thought I can probably get most of the things in. So that's what I want to do. That's this new project that I want to start today, and also it's going to be my challenge for this year to myself, as if I needed another challenge. I've had enough this year. Was to do a hidden spine, and I think this is going to be the one I'm going to use it on. So we're also doing that today. Yeah, so I almost certainly won't get the whole thing finished in one video, because I think it's going to take me a while to do it all, but hopefully a couple of videos will do it. So let's get started. So what I first need to do with this cover is to actually cover the inside, because as you can see they're not very nice. They're really quite messy on the inside. In fact, this piece of paper can be torn off. I think it's quite loose. So I have chosen a couple of pieces of scrapbook paper. It's some Stamperia paper, which I thought is actually quite in keeping with the style of Rachel's ephemera, in that she loves Stamperia papers anyway, so she uses them quite a lot for her journals. If she needs to line her the inside of her covers, she very often uses Stamperia papers. So I thought that was fairly in keeping. I have cut them to size already. I've done a little bit of preparation. When I say a little, I've done quite a lot of preparation, or not a huge amount, but it took me a long time, is really what it was all about. So that is what I would need to do first, is to actually glue in my two pieces of scrapbook paper. Sorry, brain's not completely with it this morning. So yeah, so I think I need to do that first. Now I've got to decide which is the best glue to use, as I'm going to be going on to fabric as well as paper. I suppose probably the best one to use will be, I know I'm going to try using the tacky glue, just because it's a lot easier to use, and I'll see how it glues onto here. I may have to use a bit of extra art glitter glue or something for the bit on the fabric, but we'll see how we go. I've not tried this on fabric before, so I don't know how good it is. So we'll just try, and I tested it just now to see if it was working, and it was. And of course now I'm on camera, it's got a bit clogged, but this one usually doesn't take too much. It's not like the other two glues that I use that give me no end of grief, but I will endeavour not to have a rant about the glue today. I'm determined I'm not going to rant about the glue. But you never know. If this one starts playing me up, I can't promise that I won't. Okay, so it's coming out now, that's good. This is some paper from, I think it's the Botanical Kit, I can't remember what it's called now. And this is it's the front page, or was it the back? No, this is the back page I think, but of course it's got a really beautiful pattern on the other side, so I thought, oh, it's a good opportunity to use this one, because quite often when I use scrapbook paper I want it to be double-sided, but this one doesn't need to be, and I thought it was really pretty. Just to go on here, I'm going to take it as close to the corner as I can. I've noticed after I did the cover I realised that the corners are a bit scuffed looking, and I would have liked to have been able to put book corners on them, but I'm not sure with the way I've done the cover if that's going to actually be possible, because I've left this rough around the edges, and it might look a bit odd if I put a book corner on, so I don't know. Right, so I'm going to try and hope that that glues on there, but we'll come back and add something extra if necessary. And I'm just going to do this one as well. So if you're hearing a little hum in the background, hopefully it's not too loud. I've actually had to put my fan on. We're finally getting a bit of real warmth. It's taken a long time for summer to arrive, although I knew it's only June, but May was a complete write-off. But we're having a mini heat wave now. It's going to last about 2 days, and then it will break. That's what happens over here. We get the temperature builds and builds for a few days, and then it explodes, and we get a thunderstorm, and it all gets all miserable again. That's what tends to happen. I don't know. Maybe it'll just calm down and be pleasant for a little while, because it never seems to stay pleasant. It just keeps getting hotter and more humid, and then it breaks, and we get rain and all that nasty stuff. Right. Okay, so I've got those on. They look quite nice like that. Now for the hidden spine, this is the bit I've been watching other videos. I watched Gail and Rachel doing hidden spines, and of course they do them differently. So I thought I'd try and follow Rachel's method as closely as I can, as this is all about Roxy Creations things that she makes, and her journals and her ephemera and everything else. So I'm doing her method, sort of. I don't know if there's a bit of Gail thrown in, because I'm doing a template. I don't even know if Rachel does a template, I can't remember. So I've got this piece of card which is about the same length as my spine, close enough. And I have marked the middle, because what I'm planning to do, I was umming and ahhing how many signatures to put in here, but I think what I'm going to do is 2 signatures with each having 12 pages in, which I'm hoping won't make the journal too fat. But also I was thinking if I was trying to squeeze a third one in, I thought it might make it a bit tight. And you could get 3 in, I think, but I've got so much ephemera I want to put in, it's going to end up being a really fat journal. So I thought maybe instead of three signatures of 10 pages, I'm going to do 2 signatures of 12, and I'm hoping that's enough. I may do a couple more than that, but I think 2 signatures will be enough in here. So what I've got to do, I've marked the middle vertically, so I'm just going to draw a line. Where's my ruler? There it is. Ruler and pencil. Oh, sorry, this is the fabric, isn't it beautiful? Fabric I want to use to cover the spine. So that's what you're going to see, and I think against the green, I think that's going to be, it's upside down, against the green. And it is a vintage fabric, this. I bought in a pack a while ago, and I just love it. So that's going to go in there, and I think that'll go lovely with the green of the papers. So yeah, so I'm just going to draw myself a line just so that I know where the middle is. Now, where did I put my pencil? Here it is. So I'm going to do this, you know, step by step, and I'm not going to rush it. I'm not going to try and squish it all into one video and do loads of speeding up and stuff, because I just want to do it in a sort of more relaxed way and try not to fit everything in one video. It's just makes me anxious to try and get too much done in one video. So, and I have to think about this because I've not done it before. So I apologise if I'm a bit slow here. So what I need to do is mark the middle. That's right, mark the middle this way. So it's 7 inches. Oops, get it right on the. So I'll make sure I've got it straight on my mat. And I've got the ruler at the right place. 7 inches. So halfway point is then, can't get the ruler to stay still, 3.5. So I'll do a line at 3.5, and then somewhere in between the two. So I think I'll do it about how far down? 1.5. So it's 2 inches from each side. I think that's roughly what Rachel does. And 2 inches from the middle that way. So Gail tends to come in 1 inch from the top with her spines, but Rachel tends to measure it out from the middle. I don't know that there's any particular reason for that to do either. No, I think I tend to come in from the top and do about 1 inch from the top generally. So why not do this a bit differently? This is my Roxy Creations journal, so I'm going to do it Roxy Creations style, and that's what she does. I do actually have the punch thing that she uses, the, what do you call it, the Spanish screw punch or something, but I'm not going to use that. That is where I'm going to go rogue on this one, because I've decided I'm going to use my big bite, just to make life easier. Put my sewing in. Oh, excuse me, just pulling it in. So what I need to do now, I don't want one in the middle, I want to either side, so I'm just going to grab my pencil again and mark kind of in the middle, either side of the middle of the template. So this one I'm doing by eye. I think there's only so much measuring you can do. It drives you mad. I think they're close enough. Let me just get an idea. Are they straight? Is it a big... I mean, they're not going to be so far out. They're probably not straight. Shall I just join them up and see how they look? Whoop. Doop. Give me some idea of how straight my signature is going to be. Right, so that one's gone a bit off. Well, actually, I don't know if I've... No, I think I've done the ruling a bit off. I think actually that's probably where it should be. So they look okay. I think they look close enough. So I'm going to do the smallest hole, which is the 1/8 hole, and just punch my holes in my template on those two spots. See there, I know you can't really see where I'm punching the holes, but you can see I'm getting a quite decent sized hole there. I think the only person I've seen doing it this way is actually Pam at the paper outpost. But I don't know if I'll do the signatures with this, but I think I'll do the spine with this, just so that it's really clear where the holes are. They do look quite large, don't they? Maybe I'll only need it to do the template. Maybe I'll use it all for the rest of it. I don't know for sure. That over there. Get all these little bits that I've punched out. Okay. Now, I'm going to use this, which is straw paper, because that's what Rachel used. And I've got to glue this onto the fabric. That's my next job. Just make sure I get the fabric. Well, I don't suppose it matters which way around it is, does it? Because I can turn it either way. So, right, I'm just trying to decide what. I think I'll have to use the fabric tack just to be on the safe side. So I'm hoping that's going to behave today. If you've seen any of my recent videos, you'll know that it's been running away with me lately because I filled it, so it doesn't want to stop coming out once it starts. But in this case I'm hoping it will come out quite freely because I need lots of it. Just get the hard bits off the nozzle. Okay, you're going to work today. Gonna come out to play, Mr. Fabric. Let's see. Sometimes it's just getting it started, isn't it? It likes to tease. Now, where's my little pin gone? I had it. It was around. Oh, I may have put it back on my bit of magnet. I keep my pins on a little magnet stuck to a little piece of felt so that they can just be kept together and they don't roll all over the place. Like this. I've got a couple of these, just a piece of felt with the magnet stuck to it, and then I just put my pins on there. So that, and also they're easier to pick up. If you drop them on the floor, I can't pick up pins when they fall on the floor. So I just go down like this and the magnet picks them up for me, which is really handy. Okay, I think we have Fabric a-flowing. That's good. Now, where was I going to put it? I put it on here, wasn't I? Okay. I realise I should have probably torn it first. I don't know if this is going to work to tear it now. It's glued on the paper, but I might just give that a try because I quite like the soft torn edge, and I think I should have done it before, but then I probably wouldn't have got it to the size I wanted, and I would have probably still wanted to cut it down or something. Anyway, we'll give it a try, see if it works, doing it after the gluing instead of before. Get it exactly where I want it, can't I? Let's see. Oh, see, it's tearing it away. Oh no, it's coming away. I think it's going to be all right. It's pulling it off a bit, but I think we're still okay there. Mountains of strings. Can't get it off my fingers now. There we go. Right. I might wait until this is properly dried before I tear off the last bit, because I think it was trying to pull it away from from the straw paper, so let's just make sure. Okay, that corner was coming away, just need to add a little bit more there. Right, I think I'm going to leave that to dry, and then I'll just tear it off at the end, and I'm not in danger of pulling away the straw paper while I'm at it. So that is then going to go here, and I think that will look really pretty. Try and get rid of that crease. Well, it'll probably show once I've got the signatures in anyway, so never mind. Okay, so that's going to go there, and then the spine, then the signatures will be sewn into this. So I need that to dry now, and that as well. So now I need to do the signatures. What I'm going to use, I've got a whole collection here. These are all Roxy Creations papers. I think I've mainly pulled from the English Gardens kit, the Botanicals kit #1 I think is the one I've got. The Pretty Background papers, I think there's some in there, and also there's some of her freebie papers that she does give us now and again. So I've got quite a lot. What I've done with them, I have backed them, and these are generally more papers from Rachel. These are her dyed papers I've used, or that's some of the things I've used, or some of her background style papers, and then I've cut them to size, and you know, I've had to cut them quite a lot to fit them into that quite small cover. So yeah, I did actually print a load of them, cut them all down, and then I wanted some more, and it occurred to me I just needed to print them on a smaller format to lose less of the picture. So it took me a while to figure that out, but so I did print a few of them. I think I had to print them on something like Executive or something. I have these weird settings on my printer. Or on my laptop. I think the settings come from Windows rather than from the printer itself. But I managed to print them a bit smaller, so by the time I cut off all the white, they weren't far off the size I needed. I still had to trim them a bit, but not as much as I had originally with the other papers. But anyway, I've got a whole load here. I may not use them all. I should probably pick out my favourites, because I have a few other bits that I want to put into each signature as well. So I've got a bunch of, these are coffee dyed, avocado dyed, and food colouring dyed papers. So there's the green, the pink and the brown, I suppose. And some of them I've just cut to size, and others I have, excuse me, I have folded, Rachel style, to make more pockets. Because it occurred to me with the ephemera, a lot of it's tags and journal cards. There may not be as many pockets for me to use to put some of those things in. So I thought, well, I'll introduce a few more pocket style shapes into some of the pages, and then I've got extra pockets that I can use if I need to. So I think I've done one of each. I've got a pocket of the coffee dyed. One of the avocado dyed ones has got a pocket, and this one's just cut to size. And I've done just a single, either a flap or flip or a side tuck on this one. I'm not sure yet how I shall use it. And this one, and this one as well. So I think I'll have one. Oh, and I think I've cut it. I folded it so that if I need to, I can cut this extra bit off if it's a bit too big, which I think it may well be. Just a shame, I didn't really want to lose this nice green on the side, but I may have to lose it in order to get it into the journal. So that's those. And then I also have some of the, these are from Roxy Creations. These are one of her her old papers. You know, you can buy packs of her papers. I've got the small pack of 100 pieces, but this is one of her packs of actual full-sized not letters, they're just book pages really. And I've picked out ones that are actually joined in the middle, that are like this. I don't really like using a big page and folding it sideways and then folding it, because I just think it looks odd. And we'd like that. I don't really like using them like that. So I managed to find enough. So I've got 4. So I'm thinking I'll use 2 for each signature. They're all joined in the middle, so they're all just as they came out of the book. And I think I'm going to reinforce all of it. Oh, this has still got some of its original string. Look at that. It hasn't sort of come out. Anyway, I'm going to put a bit of washi tape down the middle of each one to reinforce them. Some of them may not need it, but I'm not as good at... Oh, that's just pulled out now. I'm not as good at Rachel of working out which papers are strong, which aren't. She just knows these papers so well. She always says, oh, this is really strong paper, and this isn't so strong paper. Well, they all seem quite flimsy to me. So I'm going to reinforce all the spines with some washies that I pulled out. And then I've got a few other odd little bits that I've pulled out. These aren't necessarily, these aren't Roxy Creations ones. These are just some book pages. Some of them are out of my big encyclopedia. These 2 are. So what I've got these 2. These were plates from the encyclopedia, and they're paintings. So this is a Van Gogh painting, Cornfield and Cypress Trees, which I thought was really, really beautiful. And then the other one on this side I like even more. This was one is a painting by Paul Cézanne, A View of the Mont Saint-Victoire in Provence. So what I thought I'd do, because they are that way round, they're landscape, so you can put them in the journal like that, but they're only blank on the back. I'm going to stick these 2 together to make a single page and fold them over. So you perhaps won't get the full benefit of the painting, but I think they are quite pretty. Even just folded in half, look, it does look lovely. And you get the colours. You can see the colours are just up my street, these. So that's one page. So I've got 2 signatures. So so I want 2 book page style, or photographic book page, I suppose. So I've got 1 for 1 signature. Now this is a big book that I've got, Migratory Birds of Europe, or something like that it's called. So this is the full-size page, but again, I'm not terribly keen on doing that with it, because I just think that looks a bit odd. Although this is a really great page, but I'm not really happy about folding it that way. I don't know. I mean, I might do. I suppose it could just about work, because that is a complete picture, that side, and then you've got that side. So I could do that. Maybe I will, because I was thinking I'd cut it and just have a small page, like try and move it, a small page like that. But you're going to lose half the butterfly, aren't you? Maybe what I'll do is I'll fold it that way, but I will have to cut it right down because it's too big. I'll have to cut it top and bottom at the least. I've worked out that I need, the pages need to be about 5 by 7. So let's just measure how big this picture would be if I just folded it in half. So it's 5.5, so I will need to trim it. Not too badly though, I won't lose the picture, that's good. I'll have to trim it, and I'll probably have to trim it the other way because I need it to be 7. And at the moment it is just over 8.25. So I will have to trim it top and bottom as well, which is okay. You know, we'll just have to lose a few of the, whatever these are. They look like, I don't think they're geese. They're too tall. I don't know what they are. Rather elegant, aren't they? Anyway, so I think that's going to be my other page to correspond with the painting pen. And then the other 2 pages I've got a map page. But I think this is quite vintagey, and I think that will probably need a little bit of, well, that's interesting. It's going to be upside down on that side. So if I have that going the right way up, that side's upside down. Maybe that'll look less obvious if it's upside down on that side, because it's all more one colour. Maybe that's what I'll have to do. I'll have to make a decision which way round, unless I put this It doesn't really matter which way, where I put it, it's going to be upside down somewhere. Oh well, never mind. I'll just have to cover up the bits that are too obvious, like these bits that are upside down here, if I'm going to use that. I think I'd like to, because I know it's old. It's not really old, but I can feel from the paper and see by the colour that it's not a modern map. And I've got this book page piece as well, completely different, Rupert the Bear. But I just thought it was a bit of fun, and I just thought I might fold that in half that way. I'll have to trim it down a bit, of course. But I just thought it was a bit of fun, quite colourful, so I thought I might put that in as well. And then I've got this odd book page piece. I think I picked this up when I was buying stuff for my fairy journal, and I think it's quite pretty. And I've got one of those green papers, I think it is. Has got more of a flappy, just a flap. Is it a green one? Let me just have a quick look. Let's move these aside. I was thinking I could actually make this into another page. I could attach it here, something like that, because I know Rachel does this kind of thing quite a lot. I'll have to cut it down, of course, but and then make that a sort of extra page that I can flip out, put a pocket on and things like that. So that might be an option, and I think that's just quite a pretty page I quite like to use. So once I've cut it down a little bit, I think it'll be okay. She might lose her hands, I'm afraid. Well, one of them's going to lose their hands, aren't they? She's going to lose a bit of it, just so I can trim it up here a little bit. And I might just have to cut her little handies off as well, but never mind. I'm sure she'll forgive us. Right, so that's the plan. So let's just put some of these signatures together. So first of all, I obviously want one of each of the two coloured ones, and I want some. So both of these have got a flap. So the one with the pocket, this is the one with the pocket for the coffee dye. So I want the pocket one of the avocado dye to go on the other side. That's those, and then I've got this one and this one, and I'll put this together before we start. I've got these two, and again I'll do the washi tape on these two, and I'll have to cut some of these down a little bit, I think, height wise. So I think I'll just do that one and that one like that, and then I've got that one and that one. And then this one is the one I might use to make another page in one of those flaps. We will see. So how many have we got now and then tell me how many pages I need to get out from the printables or the digitals. So I've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pages already in each signature, and I want possibly 12, maybe 14, I don't know. I don't want it too big, but I want it to be big enough. So I've got 7. Let's see, I'll do another 5 and then consider adding some more. 5 for each one. So let's pick out the ones I really like. Trouble is, I really like them all. There aren't many I don't like so much. So 1 each of those 2. Love that. 3. No, maybe not that so much. 3 on each side. Oh, so this one I folded the other way. This is, some of them I've backed. If you look at what I've done in the inside, some of them are backed with Rachel's dyed papers. Some of them, that's this one, and yeah, so they're all got dyed papers. I'll have to look at the other sides to make sure that's even as well. So we have to swap them around. So I want the insides to be spread evenly as well. So I've used these papers quite a bit. Oh, that's another one where it's printed upside down. I thought I'd reprinted them all. So this got the writing upside down, so that's not going to work, is it? Oh dearie me. I knew I'd done it on one of them. So this is another one of the papers, so that's on the inside of that one, so that's okay. That's got the dyed one. So some of them I've used some of the antique letters. I've got an antique letters kit, so I've used that on the back or one side of them, and that's on the inside. So I might use that. Let's see what we've got, because we've got all coffee dyed on this side at the moment, haven't we? So that's a nice one, although I've had to trim that down an awful lot, but it still looks nice. Like this one. So that's got a letter on it on the inside, so I can put that there. I love this. Don't think I've used it before. This colour, it's all blue, and that's another from her Antique Letters Digital. And on that side, how are we doing for numbers? And then this one has got the blue. Isn't that pretty on the inside? That's her. I think this is one of her freebies, actually, one of her freebie kits. It's got all these beautiful backing papers with the script on. Really like those. And this one. Gosh, it goes on and on, doesn't it? And that's got the green one. So I need to put at least one of these ones on this side. And what side? Where have I got the pretty... I've got the blue there. And there's the green one, so that should be that side. I may not use all of these. I was trying to think I'd pick out some that I'm not so keen on, but that's not very easy, because I like them all. Well, I do have an odd number, so I'm going to have to be a little bit selective, aren't I? Okay. 1, 2, 3. Maybe I'll take that one out. And that one. 4. 5. So I've got a lot of blue on this side. I like this one. It's going to take me ages just to sort out what ones I want to use, isn't it? So that's got that on the inside. I like this one very much too. And yes. I'm going to take that one out. It's hard to choose. No, this one, I've had to cut so much off this one. I think, oh no, I like that side though. Okay, that's staying in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got 6. 6 on that side. How many have I got on this side? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to bring it back in. Yeah, 6. Right, so it's going to have 13 pages on each. I'm not superstitious about the number 13. I've had 13 in journals before. So I think 2 of 13 is going to be plenty. That's 26 pages. It may be too many, but then because the pages are so pretty, if I don't cover them all with ephemera, it doesn't matter because they're just so nice to look at. Even though, sadly, I've had to cut off quite a bit of them to make them fit. Right, so let's do one at a time and get it ready to go in the journal. So I'm going to take this one. So these are ready, hopefully. Hopefully we're not going to have to cut them down anymore. There's no guarantees. And I've got a few other bits. I mean, I can use them anyway, you know, if I need to make any extra bits or do any decorating on some of those plainer pages. Right, so I'm going to fold him in half so that I'll fold him so that the little pictures, there's 2 on each side. So there's one there and one there. And actually, that's got, I'm going to have to cut it here, so I'm going to have to cut him off. But maybe I'll be able to glue him back on again. Yeah, maybe that's what, or maybe I'll fold him. It'd be a shame to lose the little fella, won't it? What's the best thing to do? Cut him off. I could make this quite a narrow. So I'll trim that a bit, and then I could stick him back on, cut him out and stick him on again. Decisions, because otherwise if I don't fold it there, I'm actually folding one of these pictures in half. Oh, and he's on that side. He's on that side as well. Oh, okay. So I could actually fold him in like that. And I've still got. I'll have him on the little flap then, wouldn't I? And I can make him into a little tuck just there. How would that work? That'll be okay. I'll just trim this down a little bit. Just put these all to one side so it's not all too cluttered up. Okay, so I'm just going to trim this a bit on this side, just because it's all rough and raggedy. And then I want to, I'll have to see how tall this is, because it needs to be no taller than 7. So if I can make it, that would be a good place to trim it. So I were to trim it just above the writing, that might work. Let's try it. And then I could just trim a tiny bit off the other end if I need to. How's that looking? It's about right, I think. I don't really want to lose too much off the bottom. I could trim it a little at the bottom to make it more in proportion. But it's going to be very tall and thin otherwise, but I don't want to make it much smaller. As there's a handy line that I can follow, I can just cut it there. Okay, so that one, I think that one will work as it is, hopefully. That's just a bit of fun. And then here's on the other side. Nice. And then in a very different style, this one. So if I fold that in half that way, and then this needs to be, well, I'll trim it down a bit and we'll see where I need to trim it to get the size right. I don't really want to have to get my big trimmer out, so I'm just going to try and figure it out. So it's going to be about there. It doesn't matter if it's not exactly, as long as it's within the 7. And then you've got a beautiful butterfly there. And then I can measure this to 5, going this way. Okay, let's see what we've got. So we've got that. Now let's just measure the height. Perhaps I could use my board. Just measured out in inches. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just a fraction under 7, so that's perfect. Yeah, why didn't I think of that before? Just use your board. So much easier. And then in the side we've got the birds and a big bird there, so it'd be nice to have a pocket across here, wouldn't it, with the bird above. And then just some writing, so that could all be covered up and decorated if necessary, and I'm sure I'll find ways of doing that. So that's the next one. These are all, I think, about ready to go. Now I think I want to make this a tuck, so I'm going to glue that down. Wish me luck with the old art glitter glue. Let's do these one at a time. You see, I'm going to be here a while just getting these papers prepared, but it's okay. I'll finish it. I'll finish putting it all together in the next video. I'll just get my pin again. Okay, so that's that one. So that's a nice little tuck here, and I'll probably put a bit of decoration on there. And then I've got the green one, and that's again is a tuck, or it could be a flip out. So I'm not going to glue that one down just yet till I've decided what I'm going to do, because I've got both the green ones have got this effect. So one will probably be a tuck and one will probably be a flip out, and I haven't decided yet which way around I'm going to do it. But I think I'd possibly, do I need to, let me just check the size of this one, because I have a sneaky feeling it might be a bit wide. Looks a bit wide to me now. I thought I'd made them all about the same, but about 5 inches. Well, it is just under the 5, so it might be okay. So we'll see. And then this one, I've just checked the size of this one as well. I think this one's okay, because I think this is, yes, it's just under 4 3/4 should I say. So that's going to have a pocket here and a tuck here. So I really need to take some of this bulk out. So I'm going to take out this corner. Oops. So if I just take those out a little bit, then I've got 2 pockets there, and I have a tuck there, which I can, is it going to work? I can't remember how Rachel normally does these, because she does this sort of thing all the time, where she has a coming up and coming across. So you've got a kind of pocket there and a tuck here. I think it's going to have to be like that. I want it big enough. Okay, I'm going to just, so I'm going to glue this in. Right, so I've glued this one in. I'm going to do it, I've decided to swap this over and put this on top. And then I might have something that I could actually put in here. And something at the side. So that's the way I'm going to do it. I don't know if it's the right way to do it, but I've got another one of these. And I might do that the other way around and see which one works best when it comes to actually putting the ephemera in. It might vary depending on what I've got to put in. But that's how I've decided I want to do it. Right. So that one's now done and ready to go and decorate and do whatever I need to do. Right, so let's just get rid of these bits of book page that I cut off. Now all I've got to do for this signature now is the washi tape down the middle of each of these 2 book pages. Right, so I brought out a little excuse me brought out a little selection, and I've got to decide which one I'm going to use. So I've got a few here, a few favourites. I think I'm going to start with one of these Tim Holtz tickets one. Just going to trim off the yellow one. It's got no sticky on it at all, but I am going to add some extra glue to the washi tape. And okay, I'm going to just trim it there. I should probably have to, oops, I'll probably just fold it around at the top and possibly at the bottom as well. And then I will fold it around at each end. And then just do another little piece going down that way, just to make it, put it there. Trim this off a little bit at the end here. There's not enough to wrap over, so I'll trim it. There. Okay, let's leave that one to dry. Just do the last one. And this one I think I may need to trim. I'm hoping I might need to trim that one actually. I never thought about that, did I? I didn't think to trim it first before I start putting the washi on. That was foolish. Let's see what size this needs to be. Well, 5 by 7 or less. So start off with the 5, because I know that's, and then I'll take it under a little. Because you know what it's like when you start putting them in the signature, things start getting pushed out. The ones nearer the middle get pushed out. So I don't want this to be sticking out too much, because the paper's quite delicate. Actually, I was going to. Oh, I can't remember what I was going to do. I was going to tear. I've trimmed off the top now. Let's see what length it is. It might already be the right length. Might not need to trim off anymore. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's exactly 7. So I'm going to trim off a little off the bottom, but not very much. And I'm going to do it this way because it's what I intended to do in the first place. See what it's like in the middle. Oh, it's got a load of shorthand and stuff in the middle. Look at that. That's interesting. So yeah, that definitely needs a bit of washi in there. Now what am I going to use for this one? I've got this really pretty Japanese style. It's quite delicate, and this is quite a delicate paper, so that might work really well. I've got this one, which is another favourite of mine. That one, and another favourite here, which is possibly a bit too much. I think I'm going to go with the delicate Japanese floral one, I think, just because it's really pretty and quite dainty. And I'm going to just trim off a piece, because I'm going to wrap this one around. Well, I do hope you guys are enjoying a bit of summer sunshine as well. We are still looking for a house. We're getting a little bit jaded with it all now. I know we are quite fussy, no question about it. We have certain requirements, and some things we've been willing to compromise on, but there's just some things we can't. We looked at a beautiful house earlier this week. Brand new house. We told ourselves at the beginning we were not going to get a brand new house on a new development, because that's what this was. We've done that. You find yourself living on a building site for a while, which is okay when you're younger, and you know you're going to be there for a long while, and that you've got time for the estate to mature. But we're at a different time of our lives now. So we didn't want that, but this particular estate that we looked at, or the new build where we were, was a very small estate on a bit of a hill, and it had a beautiful aspect looking over hills around. It's in the countryside. It was in exactly part of the country that, you know, part of the countryside that we really fancy living in, and it's not far from Hitchin where the girls are. And it was just perfect until we went into the garden. And that was just, oh, so disappointing. You know, you get this lovely house, probably bigger than we need really, but it had, you know, it was lovely, with just what we wanted. But the garden, it was just, so small, and what they built the garages, not so they were next to the house, so they were actually bordering the gardens. So you go out into your garden, you've got a brick wall on one side and a brick wall on the other side, and it's, because it's narrow, you felt so hemmed in. And at the bottom of the garden, there was a brand new development being built, and you could just see it just above the level of the fence, and it was going to, and it hadn't got roofs on yet, so that was going to be right in our faces at the bottom of the garden as well. And the garden wasn't very long, so we just thought, we tried every which way we could find to make that feel more, you know, make that work really. But you know, Richard wants to spend his retirement in his garden, and we said it just wasn't going to be a place that he'd want to spend time in, because it was just so hemmed in and enclosed looking. So it was a real shame. We battled with it for quite a while because we loved the house. So. But that's been the story of our search. We've seen houses that we've liked, but there's no parking, or there's no garden or whatever. It's just the way it's gone. Anyway, enough of that. We've now got the washi tape on, and so that signature's ready to go now. So what I'll do, sorry, I will, when I can fold this in half, I will do the other, the same thing. So basically I'll be doing the same thing to the other signature, putting the washi in the middle of the book pages that, you know, Rachel's old book pages. I'll do the washi in those. There's two more of those, and I will do the gluing down of the pockets and things. And so when I come back, we will start putting the journal together and doing the actual hidden spine. Watch me struggle yet again. If you feel you can, if you can manage to stand it, we will struggle again to get the signature sewn in, shall we? Or the two signatures. So bye for now. Thank you so much for joining me. Bye.